हमारी, हमको प्रभु का प्यार मिला। क्या खूब है तकदीर हमारी, हमको प्रभु का प्यार मिला। जिसकी थी तलाश हमें, उस साथी का संसार मिला। क्या खूब है तकदीर हमारी, हमको प्रभु का प्यार मिला। टूटे हुए थे दिल के तार, ज्ञान योग से किया श्रृंगार। ऐसा सरगम छेड़ा प्रेम का, गूंज उठा मेरा मन संसार। हर घड़ी हुई सांसें सुहानी, है ऐसा उपहार मिला। क्या खूब है तकदीर हमारी, हमको प्रभु का प्यार मिला। सामने है अपनी मंजिल, मिट गई है सारी मुश्किल। कह रहा है अब मेरा दिल, मिल गया अब हमको साहिल। चाहत थी जो युगों युगों की, वो मंजर का दीदार मिला। क्या खूब है तकदीर हमारी, हमको प्रभु का प्यार मिला। क्या खूब है तकदीर हमारी, हमको प्रभु का प्यार मिला। जिसकी थी तलाश हमें, उस साथी का संसार मिला। क्या खूब है तकदीर हमारी, हमको प्रभु का प्यार मिला। क्या खूब है तकदीर हमारी, हमको प्रभु का प्यार मिला।
Okay. Om Shanti. Good morning, everyone. So, the day of Monday, Baba's Day. Interesting that Baba, when you see yourself in so many synchronicities that are happening around you, and since few days we know that Baba is bringing our attention to awareness, right? What kind of awareness am I holding in my intellect, in my mind? And even may I request you to please show the Murli. And so in today's Murli, which was originally spoken on 15th of December 2006, Baba is speaking about the same thing that we have been hearing for some time now. So what it really means is that he's, hammering this point into our intellect so that it becomes very, very, very clear that this is what is the call of the time. This is what I need to do. So let's see, he's talking about 3 lines of special fortunes, godly sustenance, godly teachings, and godly Srimad. And of course, there is a huge list that we can come up with, but then really brings our attention to that you have received a lot, now you have to become, and you be an embodiment of remembrance. And he will give us the reason why we are not able to do that. So let's listen to Baba's versions. Again, the original date is 15th of December 2006. The essence is be an embodiment of remembrance, an experienced image, and pass with honors by bringing about transformation in the speed of a second, or with the speed of a second. Today, Bhagdada is seeing 3 lines of special fortune sparkling on the foreheads of all the children everywhere. Everyone's forehead is sparkling with the lines of fortune. One is the fortune of godly sustenance, right? As Father, He loves us, He gives us godly sustenance. The second is the line of the fortune of the teachings received from the elevated teacher. And the third is the line of fortune of Srimad received from the Satguru. So Father gives us godly sustenance in the form of love, and then teacher gives us godly teachings, godly study, and as Satguru, he gives us Srimad. Baba says, in fact, all of you have plenty of fortune. Can you hear me okay? Baba says you have received plenty of fortune, but nevertheless, Baba is today seeing that these 3 lines. You are also experiencing the sparkling lines on your forehead, are you not? So as you see yourself sitting in soul conscious state, listening to Baba's versions, see the soul is sparkling with these lines of fortune. Just as the Father is the highest on high, so godly sustenance is also the highest on high. So few of you receive this sustenance, and all of you have become worthy of this sustenance. This sustenance is received only by you children, only once in the whole cycle. Very important. Only at the confluence age, I receive this sustenance. Only after I say, my Baba, right? I become a child and I receive it. So Baba says, if you don't receive it now, you can never receive it. This godly sustenance, God's love, and godly attainment is experienced only by a handful of souls out of millions. So that itself should increase our intoxication, right? That Baba, I am that one of those handful ones, right? And I am able to experience this fortune. All of you are experienced, are you not? Do you have this experience? So Baba is asking, do you have the experience of being sustained by God's love? You have experienced the sustenance, the study, and also Srimad. Your experienced images. So can you always see this star of fortune sparkling on your forehead? So Baba is asking all the time, not that sometimes I see the sparkle and sometimes I don't, but he's saying all the time. Or does the sparkling star sometimes become a little dull? It should not become dull, Baba is saying. If the sparkling star becomes dull, do you know what the reason is for that? And he will give us the reason. Bapdada saw that the reason is you have not become embodiments of remembrance. You think that you are a soul, but you become an embodiment of the thought. You don't become an embodiment of the awareness so much. Unless you always remain an embodiment of remembrance, you cannot have power, because this awareness brings power. Smriti samarthi ko lati hai, right? Awareness brings power. If I don't have awareness, there is no power. And there are a lot of examples, right? Especially of Hanuman. I never forget that one, because it was so clear that he could fly, but he didn't remember at the time. And as soon as he remembered, he was able to cross so many hurdles that came on his path, right? To bring the life-saving herb. And that happened only because he was aware now who he is, and therefore there was so much power So Baba always says that awareness brings power. Now, if I don't have awareness, then there is no power. Hmm? An embodiment of remembrance is an embodiment of power. The star of fortune sparkles little. Ask yourself what you are for a long period, for a longer period. Is it an embodiment of thought or an embodiment of awareness? By being an embodiment of thought, you think very well. I am this, I am this, I am this, right? So I am holy Hans, I am soul, I am beloved child of Baba. You think a lot, Baba is saying like that. But because of not having that awareness, awareness is what? Deeper than the thought, right? Sankalp is more still a little bit superficial compared to awareness is more like a deeper ingrained remembrance. So Baba is saying that you don't always have that awareness. So waste thoughts and ordinary thoughts become mixed in your thinking. In fact, if you look at it, your eternal form is the form of awareness and power. Your form is not just of thoughts, but it is the embodiment, right? So point of light, that is my eternal form. Now in the soul world, I'm actually in that awareness. I'm actually in that embodiment, right? So Baba is saying it's not just a thought, but it is an embodiment form. In the beginning too, you receive the reward of having been an embodiment of awareness at this time. So because I am developing that sanskar of being an embodiment of awareness at the confluence age, I am able to receive the reward of that in the golden age. And so in the golden age also, Baba says, you are an embodiment of awareness. So he says, in the beginning too, you receive the reward of having been an embodiment of awareness at this time. So eternally and originally, you are an embodiment of awareness. And at this time, that means at the confluence age, at the end, and at the time of the confluence age too, you become an embodiment of awareness. And so what he's trying to say is that when you're originally in your home, in that eternal form, you are embodiment of awareness. When you come down for the first time in the golden age, you are an embodiment of awareness. And then little bit you forget in middle, but then when you come to the end at the confluence age, you again become embodiment of awareness, right? So Baba is saying in all three aspects of time, at the beginning, eternally, and at the end, you are an embodiment of awareness. You're not embodiment of thoughts. This is why Padada told you earlier too, to become an experienced image, Anubhavi Murd, at the present time is the elevated stage. And you've heard this many times, right? That Baba says experience is the highest authority, right, that you can attain at confluence age. So it's the elevated stage. You consider yourself to be a soul. You have the godly attainments. But Baba says there is a big difference in understanding this and in experiencing it. Just like we say, we know a lot, right? Knowing is different than actually being. So similarly, Baba says understanding is different than experiencing it. I understand knowledge, I understand a lot of things, but I'm not that. I haven't become that. And that's where Maya gets her chance, right? So Baba is saying there is a big difference in understanding this and experiencing it. An experienced image can never be deceived by Maya or experience any sorrow. Very powerful, right? If I am experienced, I will never ever be deceived by Maya because I have already that experience of Maya. So I will recognize it immediately. And therefore, I will not experience any sorrow from that deceivement either. So the games of Maya that you see every now and again, or the games that you even play yourself, are because of lack of being an embodiment of experience. So games of Maya, we understand. And games that we play is basically we sometimes give excuses or sometimes blame others or sometimes try to escape or try to suppress. All of this is we are playing games with our own selves, right? So Baba is saying This is because there is lack of being an embodiment of experience. The authority of experience is the most elevated. Babdada saw that some children think about this, but that they have little experience of being an embodiment. In today's world, the majority of souls have become tired of seeing and hearing and wish to have some attainment through an experience. Only those who are experienced can give an experience. An experienced soul will always continue to move forward. They will continue to fly because an experienced soul constantly has zeal and enthusiasm in an emerged form. An experienced soul has zeal and enthusiasm in an emerged form. So check, have you become an image of experience of every point of knowledge? So Baba says, is the authority of experience visible in your every action? Is your every word and every thought based on the authority of experience, or is it simply based on your understanding? So for example, if you tell somebody that drama is kalyankari, drama is beneficial, but you haven't really experienced that yourself, and nothing has happened in your life, everything is very smooth, and you've never come across this test paper, which might not be true. I'm just giving you an example. So then when you speak about it, it doesn't have that power, Baba is saying. And so I should have the experience of every point of knowledge when I come into my action, when I speak something, and when I think something. It should be visible. One is to understand, and the other is to experience, Baba says. To speak about the points of knowledge for every subject can also be done by outside speakers who give many speeches. Again, we've heard this from Baba, right? That actually there can be 100 times better speakers than us, right? And they can have more immense knowledge than what we have, right? Or I have, I should say. And so Baba is saying it's not that what you knowledge that you have, or it's not just the understanding that you have, but it is the experience that you have that makes you different from them, right? So that's why Baba is saying that knowledge they can also give. They also have knowledge and awareness of so many aspects of spirituality. However, to become an embodiment of the experience of every point means to be an enlightened soul. There are many who have yoga, and there are many who sit for yoga. But the experience of yoga means to be an embodiment of power, and an embodiment of power is recognized by being able to invoke a particular power that is needed at that time and becoming an embodiment that is free from obstacles. This is also very powerful, I felt, that it's not that we just have yoga for 1 hour. Sister Moini always says that you're not yogi of 2 hours, or you're not yogi of just when you sit, right? 3 hours, 4 hours. But you said this is yogi life, right? The life itself is a yogi life. So it is continuous, it is unbroken remembrance in this life that we experience that makes us embodiment of power. And so how will you know that you really have experience of yoga? Experience of yoga means you should have yoga bal. You should have the power. And how will you know that you have power? Baba is saying at the right time, whichever power you invoke, it will come. Whether it is power to tolerate, whether it is power to face, you invoke and it should appear in front of you. And if it appears in front of you, then instantly you should become free from that obstacle that has come in front of you. It should not linger around for a very long time, right? It should come and it should take leave like that. So that is the sign, which I felt this is very powerful, that Baba is saying the experience of yoga means you have the power, you've become an embodiment of power, means you have the ability to invoke the right power at the right time. And if you can do that, that means you will be an embodiment of being free from obstacles. Okay? So like that. If even one power is lacking, if you speak about it, but you're not an embodiment of it, then too you can be deceived at that time. Right? So I don't have the experience, let's say, of power to face. Then Baba says something will show up in your life and you won't be able to face, so you will be deceived. So if you need to have the power of tolerance, but you use the power to oppose, which is power to face, you cannot be called yogyuk or an embodiment of experience, which happens a lot, right? Where you need to face, we end up tolerating, and where we need to tolerate, we end up facing. So that is not being yogyuk. What would be the sign of your being an embodiment of awareness and an embodiment of experience in all four subjects? Very beautiful sign again. He says, in your stage, you would have the consciousness of being an instrument. In your attitude, you would always have pure feelings, soul conscious feelings, and altruistic feelings. In the atmosphere and in relationships and connections, you would always be humble and your words would be pure and gentle. Now, he's giving you these things, but you can connect with the subjects, right? If you really have knowledge, if you're good at the subject of knowledge, you've become an embodiment of experience in the subject of knowledge, you will have the consciousness of being an instrument. If you're good at the subject of yoga, right, and dharana, you will have soul conscious feelings, you will have soul conscious attitude, you will have altruistic feelings, right? And if you're good at service, right, then in every relationship, in any atmosphere that you are, in any environment, any situation, you will always be very humble, pure, gentle. Your words, your attitude, everything will be like that. So Baba is saying these specialities would be the natural nature at every moment of the one who is an experienced image. Natural nature of an experienced image. So natural nature is important. Natural word is important in this. At present, some children sometimes say, I don't want to do this, but it is my old nature. Your nature naturally does that work, and you don't even have to think about it, Baba says. Your nature is naturally doing that work. So check yourself, what is my natural nature? Beautiful question to ponder upon. What is my natural nature? If I have even the slightest trace of my old nature, then by it being used again and again, it becomes a firm sanskar. So if I have little bit trace of laziness and I continue to be lazy and I continue to be lazy and again I show that laziness, then of course one time it will be where it becomes a firm sanskar, Baba is saying. In order to finish the old nature and old sanskars, even though you want to do this, you are unable to do it. So what is the reason for that? You have become knowledgeful in everything. You don't want something to happen and yet it happens. So what is the reason for that? So Baba says the reason is that there is little power of transformation. In other words, it means I don't have power to transform. Parivartan Shakti ki kami hai. In the majority, it is visible that the power of transformation is lacking. You understand it, you speak about it, and if you were all asked to write or give a lecture on that topic of the power of transformation, then Bapdada feels that all of you are very clever. And you could even give very good lectures and write very well about it too. And if others come, you could also explain to them very well what is power of transformation. You can explain to them, don't worry, just transform it. However, you yourselves lack the power of transformation. And knowing the importance of the present time, Baba says you should not take time to bring about transformation. So I don't have 80 years remaining, right? Like Dadi's had. I don't even know if I have 30, 40 years, right? So Baba is saying you can't wait long. The transformation has to happen quickly. It is the power of transformation in a second, Baba says. Because since you understand that something should not happen, and though you understand if you're unable to transform yourself, the reason for that is that you think about it, but you don't become an embodiment of it. So you think I should be peaceful, but then you don't become an embodiment of peace. That's what Baba is saying. You become an embodiment of those thoughts for a longer period throughout the day, and the majority of you lack being an embodiment of awareness, and so an embodiment of power. It is now the time for intense speed, Baba says, the time for intense effort. It is not the time for ordinary efforts. Right? What is ordinary effort? Anybody? What is ordinary effort?
Shanti sister, without combining with Baba.
Without?
Usually we won't combine with Shiv Baba. When we are along with the Shiv Baba, when we does any actions, that becomes quite natural. Without Baba, just we are alone, we are doing actions.
Okay, we will discuss this a little bit later after the Murli. So, but you can put in the chat box if you have more thoughts about what is an ordinary effort. Baba is saying it is not the time for ordinary effort, but it is time for intense effort. What is intense effort? Transformation in a second means that through your being an embodiment of awareness, you should become free from negative and wasteful thoughts in 1 second. Very beautiful line again. If I'm able to transform, if the transition period from being in that disheartened stage to being again in zeal and enthusiasm is only 1 second, that is a good stage, right? Good effort. Baba is saying you should be able to become free from negative and wasteful thoughts in 1 second. Why? You are instruments to bring the time and completion close. So according to the importance of the present time, and since you know that every step has multi-millions merged in it, you keep the awareness of increasing that in your intellect, but you should also keep the awareness of losing that in your intellect. Now, what Baba means is that you are aware that if I do something good, I will get multi-millions in return. So in my every step, I get multi-millions. But Baba is saying the opposite is also true. If I don't take that step, then I will lose multi-millions. And I should keep that as well in my intellect. That's what he's saying here. If you're creating multi-millions at every step, you're also losing multi-millions in a step, are you not? So now the question of a minute is over. You say for others that they should stay in a minute of silence. But for you people, it is now a matter of a second. How long does it take to think, yes or no? A second. So such fast transformation power is required. So power of transformation is required. You understand that something is fine or not fine. Baba says, put a full stop to that which is not fine and make that which is fine practical. Now use the importance of the full stop. You know about the 3 dots, do you not? What are the 3 dots?
The dot of a soul.
Right. And other 2?
Of Baba and also Brahma.
Good. So soul, Baba, and drama, right? I am the soul, point of light. Baba is point of light, and drama, whatever happens is good. So I put a full stop and start a new sentence like that. So Baba is saying you're aware of the 3 dots, do you know? However, use the dot, that means use the full stop at the right time. That is what we lack. We don't do it on that moment itself. Scientists, Baba says, are doing everything quickly now. And they're also using the power of transformation a lot more. So those with the power of silence now keep the aim. That is, if you want to bring about transformation, You are knowledgeful. So Baba is acknowledging that we all have the knowledge, but now become powerful in the speed of a second. I have to become so powerful that in a second I'm able to bring the transformation. We are doing it. It will happen. We will do it. No, this will thing is not good. No, Baba doesn't like karenge, ho jayega, ho hi jayenge. He doesn't like. So Baba says, is it possible or is it difficult? I have to do it now. He says like that, right? So is that possible or not possible? Because at the final moment, it will be the paper of a second. We all know, no? The paper, we know the question, and not of a minute. So only if you have the practice of a second over a long period of time, will you be able to be passed with honors in a second. You are godly students. You are studying the godly study. And so you definitely have to pass with honors. So what if you claim pass marks, right? You know, when I was young, I used to always say, passing is not a big deal. Anybody can pass, right? But to get that first rank in the school and to maintain that, that is what requires effort, right? And so Baba always says that passing is not a big deal, right? Anybody will, and everybody who comes in the golden age, 900,000 souls, and then 330,000 souls in the end of the silver age, all of them will pass, no? But then pass with honors is only 16,000, right? Or maybe 900,000, 900. Baba is saying that you have to know that it's not just enough to pass, but I have to become pass with honors. Pass with honors, Baba says. What aim have you kept? Those of you who believe that you have to pass with honors, raise your hands. For pass with honors, he's saying, raise your hands. Underline the word honors. Honors means what in this case? Again, what is pass with honors and pass? What is the difference? Somebody should write down these questions. They're just coming to my mind. What is the difference between passing and pass with honors?
Passing with honors means coming in the ranking of 108 or 16,108, and just passing will put us into Treta Yuga.
Okay.
That
How will you know? How will you know where you are? Now, I don't know the numbers, right? Numbers are not revealed. So I don't know the numbers, but I can still tell if I will pass or I will pass with honors now.
if our stage is good, if we are in the flying stage, that means we are doing good. If we are in Tivra Purusharth, we are not repeating our mistakes every time. So that, and if we are receiving blessings from others, our relationships are smooth, then we are doing good. Otherwise, we have to improve.
Okay, nice. All right, Baba says, underline the word honors. Acha. So what will you now have to do? A motor a minute is common, right? Say, no, this is a saying. It is now a matter of a second, Baba says. Yes, those from Punjab, it is now a matter of a second. Who will be number one in this Punjab? What is the big deal? It must be Punjab's service turn. So Baba is speaking to them. You speak with such intoxication. You speak very well with such intoxication that when Bab Dada hears it, he's very pleased. You say, what is the big deal? Because Bab Dada is with you. So you have the authority with you. Baba, the highest authority is with you. So what are you now going to do? You now have to become intense effort makers. You are doing service, and what else would you do without service? Will you sit idle? Right? Yesterday's and Sunday's Murli also Baba said, service is the religion and action of Brahmin souls. Mera karm hai, mera dharm hai, mera sanskar hai, he said, right? However, now together with service, become an embodiment of power to transform. Bab Dada is pleased with the extent of zeal and enthusiasm for service you have shown and is also congratulating you. However, just as you have received the crown of service, you're wearing a crown. So there must be youth groups sitting with the crown on their head. See how good it looks. Now show everyone by wearing the crown of being an embodiment of awareness. So that sparkling light should be seen in your forehead, right? So much sparkle should be visible. It is the youth group, is it not? So what wonder will you show? Number one in service and number one in being an embodiment of power. So he really wants us to be powerful. To give the message is also the religion and action of Brahmin life. But Bab Dada is now giving a signal to speed up the machinery of transformation. Otherwise, it will be difficult to pass with honors. The practice of this over a long period of time is needed. Think about it and then do it. Do not just become an embodiment of thought, but also become an embodiment of awareness and thereby an embodiment of power. Finish the waste at a fast speed. Wasteful thoughts, wasteful words, wasteful actions, wasteful time, and wasteful methods and systems in relationships and connections. Finish all of that. It's very interesting. Wasteful methods and systems in relationships. Again, very nice point to churn upon. What are the wasteful systems, customs, methods, right? In relationship, there's a lot of give and take, no? Lot of give and take, lot of money is involved, lot of time, energy. I have to go to your house, now you have to come to my house. I have to babysit your child, now you have to. So this transactional kind of relationship that goes on and on, that has to finish, no? It's this old methods, old systems in relationships and connections, which are wasteful. Baba is saying you have to finish all of that. When you Brahmin souls finish all that waste in yourselves at a fast speed, you will accumulate blessings from souls and accumulate in your account of charity at a fast speed. So two things, you will receive blessings, duai bhi milegi aur punya bhi jama hoga. So your account of charity will also increase. Bab Dada has told you earlier that Bab Dada is checking 3 types of accounts. The account of the speed of effort, the account of speed of effort, the account of blessings, and the account of charity. However, the accounts of the majority are not that full. And this is why Bab Dada is today reminding you of the slogan, now become fast, become intense effort makers, become those who finish everything at a fast speed, become those who transform the atmosphere with their mind at a fast speed, right? 18th January, he gave us 6 months homework, right? That you have to serve through your mind, so much so that you can liberate the souls from their sorrow, make the mind busy. So again, Baba is reminding us of that homework. And the next paragraph is also beautiful. Maybe I just finish this page and then we will stop. Bab Dada is pleased with all the children about one thing. In which aspect? All of you have deep love in your heart for the Father. Congratulations for this. So he always acknowledges, no, that children have a lot of love for the Father. But then Baba says, should I tell you what you have to do by the end of the season? And you still have time. Show one or another splendor of a fast speed by the end of the season. Do you like this? Do you like this? Baba is saying, those of you who feel that you will keep both the aim and its qualifications in your awareness, raise your hands. So if I only have the aim, let's say I want to become a doctor and I have that aim, but I don't have any qualifications. I'm not studying for the entrance exam. I'm not, and once I enter, even after that, I'm not, paying attention to the practicals or whatever. So then the qualifications are not there, right? So Baba is saying, keep both aim as well as its qualifications in your awareness. If you are able to do that, then you raise your hands. Those who will keep both the aim and its qualifications in front of you, raise your hands. Double foreigners will do this. Teachers will do this. And the youth will also do this. And those in the front row will also do this. So multi-million congratulations in advance. Acha, what are we going to do now that you will listen tomorrow. So we'll take a pause and then see what touched our hearts and what effort we will make at the fastest speed. Om Shanti. Yeah, anybody wants to share? Shivani says efforts are not up to the benchmark of Baba. Okay. Does not come naturally. Okay. Who else wants to share? Anybody wants to share?
Om Shanti. Good morning, everyone. Baba says, the sparkling star must never become dull. If it is dull, that means you have not become an embodiment of remembrance and an embodiment of experience. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Baba said that you have to become embodiments of experience now. There are many knowledgeful souls in the world who speak very good and have more knowledge, but the difference between them and us is that we have experience. So we need to become experienced and then reveal Father through our faces, through our personality. Also, Baba said that you are knowledgeful, but along with that, you need to become powerful now. So you need to speed up and become an intense effort maker. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Shanti.
Om
The
Shanti.
point to take home today is today from today's Murli is Baba is today speaking about moving from being and from thought to awareness. So from the power of thought, for me to take home is how to transform the thoughts to awareness, because that's the gap which I saw for myself. Becoming that embodiment at that given point of time is only possible when I'm aware and when I'm agile. So that's the point that I'm taking on. Om Shanti.
So I have to keep myself reminding, right? More and more attention and more I remind myself, I will become aware. And the more awareness is there, I will become powerful. More powerful I become, more experienced I will become. Experienced I will become. More experience I have, it will be easy for me to pass with honors and bring that transformation that Baba is asking. Right? Anyone else?
Om Shanti.
Om
I'll
Shanti.
practice, from today's Murli, my takeaway point is that I'll practice putting a full stop in a second and maintain the awareness of the fortune I have received from Baba.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. You all are quiet. So ordinary efforts, according to what I understand, is every Brahmin soul, right? Basic principles that we follow. And if we do that, that is an ordinary effort. Nothing special about it. So doing Amrit Vela, doing Murli class, doing traffic control, doing evening yoga, good night yoga. This is very basic requirement to be a Brahmin, right? So if I want to call myself as a Brahmin, I follow these principles, and that is a very ordinary effort. But what am I doing above and beyond that? How much am I paying attention to my dharana, or how much am I able to, like Baba said today, imbibe the powers and have the experience of every point of knowledge? So doing something more beyond the ordinary effort will make us extraordinary effort makers, right? Or intense effort makers, good effort makers. Intense is a little bit different. Intense is where speed is involved now, right? Because we all come to a comfortable position and then we get a chance to go up the ladder, right? But then between this comfortable position and then going up the next step, there is a little transition period. But that transition period is not comfortable. You have to step out of your comfort zone, be in that uncomfortable zone for a little bit time, and then you reach the top level, next top level, and then you again find your comfort there. So that transition period is what is important. How long does it take me from transitioning from one stage to next stage? That is what is speed that Baba is referring to. And if I am feeling low, let's say if something happened, somebody said something, I'm feeling low. So I am in this little bit dull stage, right? My light is not sparkling. Then I immediately use knowledge. I immediately sit in front of Baba. I look at Baba's drishti. Something I do that instantly I'm able to come out of that dullness or that disheartenment or that low energy, right? I don't stay there for a very long time, because if I stay there for a very long time, then I will feel defeated. But if I don't stay there for a very long time and I quickly transition from that place to the next one, that Baba says is what the power of transformation is, with the speed of a second. So I need all of these powers. Of course, the 8 master powers are important, but then when I have these, it will also enable me to have the transformation power with the speed added. It's like you have a car, but it can only go with certain speed, right? But if you have a good speed, then you can reach the destination faster, something like that. And passing with honors means you will not have to face the Dharamraj, I feel. If you constantly feel punishment you will feel now only, at the conference site itself, right? If I want to do yoga, I'm not able to do yoga, let's say. If I want to listen to the Murli, I attend the class, but I'm very sleepy. If I get up at Amrit Vela, but I don't have, those are what? Those are some subtle mistakes, right, of Srimad that I've done. Maybe I didn't sleep properly at night. I didn't sleep giving chart to Baba. I didn't wake up with the right consciousness, something, no? So that is like I am experiencing obstacles. So that is not a stage of being passed with honors. Passed with honors means Dharamraj will also bow down to you, Baba says, right? So like that. Anyway, just few thoughts. Shall we end if you don't have anything to share, unless somebody feels inspired to share something?
Om Shanti.
Mm.
Baba is saying that when you're embodiment of you have natural embodiment, become the natural embodiment of power. So when I think about power, I always see the Superman and Spider-Man who, whenever they want the power, it becomes natural to them to use those powers. So whenever there is a chaos in the world, they immediately reach over there. So for me, like that, I should have that power when I needed these powers for helping and for any needy person.
Yeah, very beautiful. I also love all these Supermans, and I remember Shaktiman from my
Yes.
childhood days. That's beautiful, no? In an
Fine.
ordinary way, he's Gangadhar, who is not at all intelligent, not at all attractive, right? A very bland kind of character. But as Shaktiman, he knows his purpose. He has a higher purpose. So I might look up here in the world very ordinary, doing very ordinary actions, but I can have that extraordinariness as soon as I infuse my actions with Baba's remembrance.
And I always see them flying, always flying
Yeah,
everywhere. So with zeal and enthusiasm. So that
right,
makes power makes you happy and always live in zeal and enthusiasm.
right. And they can do anything, right?
Yes, being an ordinary, they're an extraordinary.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Om Shanti.
Thank you.
Om Shanti. Today Baba said that you need to make a long term effort to use your powers at the right time, right power at the right time. So for that, along with becoming powerful, you have this art of using right things at right time in a second. Then you will pass with honors. So this is also an aspect of intense effort making. Om
Right,
Shanti.
right. Yes. Shanti. Okay, I think we should make use of this time and do a good yoga. Yeah, shall we? You want to share, Lata? Sister?
No, sorry,
Lata,
I pressed without knowing. Sorry, you can continue.
it's okay if you want to share something. It's fine.
No, Baba says if you don't do the transformation now within a second, it will be difficult to do it at the time of need. So we have to practice that very efficiently. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you,
Yeah,
Shanti.
yeah. Oh, Shanti. Yeah, this month, Madhuban sends us these avyakt signals. I'm sure everybody receives them. And it's all about cleanliness and purity. And so cleanliness of mind. And Baba actually talked so much about that in this morning's Murli. So, you, you know, immediately, as soon as you see your mind is wandering, that is an impurity, Baba said. And so immediately I should catch myself and tell myself that I don't have time to wander. Let me have one pure thought for the world, you know, let me have one thought for nature, one thought for myself, something constantly create very beautiful, powerful, serviceable, auspicious thoughts, right? So yeah, it's a good way of practicing 1 second. Speed of 1 second.
Om Shanti, sister.
Om Shanti.
Baba also said about the games of the Baya and also the games we play. If we are affected by the games which are being played by Maya and we are not able to come out of obstacles, then we have to learn to become free of obstacles by not getting affected by the games of Maya. We need to be aware of each and everything what is happening with us, and also we need to be powerful and dharna yukt for not playing games ourselves also. Sometimes because of Maya we also start playing games with others, so we have to take care of that also. Om Shanti.
Right. With others तो खेलते हैं, खुद के साथ भी. With yourself, Baba said today. You play it with yourself also. So what he means is you deceive yourself. You fool yourself, right? You're actually fooling yourself when you know, say, oh, I don't have time or I don't have this. Actually, you're deceiving your own self. So yeah, you have to be very honest, very clean inside, which helps to not deceive, to not be deceived. Okay, shall we meditate? Okay, I
Yes.
feel before we should meditate. Yeah, okay,
Yes.
all right. So let's sit quietly. As I sit in silence, I create the awareness that I am a specially fortunate child. It is only at the confluence age, once in the entire cycle, that I have this beautiful fortune of receiving God's love, God's teachings, God's guidance, godly attainments. My whole life is now sustained and surrounded by Baba. Just as I belong to him, he belongs to me. So see Baba as your world, and in that world, you are present in your most elevated, sparkling form, the form of light energy. And in this moment, being aware of the hopes that Baba has in me, knowing the desires of the Father's heart, I create a pure thought with a lot of determination that whatever I think, whatever words emerge from my lips, whatever feelings emerge in my heart, the attitude and the actions that I perform, I will color them with the color of awareness, of being an instrument soul, being humble and sweet and gentle. I will bring Baba's sanskars in a very practically visible manner to the forefront for the world to see. In doing so, I will reveal Baba, but also I will be the one out of handful who can fulfill God's heart's desires. Feel the intoxication. Feel the honor and the privilege that I have received at the confluence age. And when Baba listens to this thought, he showers upon me the crown of responsibility, the crown of being an embodiment of awareness. Gives me the tilak of victory. So there is guaranteed blessings that I am receiving from Baba. I am receiving the power to transform everything at the fastest speed. Feel that internal energy growing within the soul, where the capacity is increasing, the ability to understand and imbibe is increasing. The quality of the soul is increasing. I am becoming an embodiment of power. With the Almighty as my companion. I am powerful when I am with you. I am obstacle-free when I am with you. I shall continue to be with you the rest of this life. You are my friend for life. With this elevated thought and elevated feelings, filled with love, allow yourself to come to the present consciousness of being God's helper on this planet. I am here to perform divine acts, just as God is present to show His divine acts. I am co-creator, co-companion, and I will bring the transformation with the fastest speed of 1 second. Especially today, I will focus on transforming everything that is not fine and bringing into practical everything that is fine. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Tina Ben, for the beautiful commentary. Thank you, all of you, and see you tomorrow at 5:30 a.m. Have a beautiful day.
Thank
Om
you.
Shanti.
Om Shanti, everyone.
Om Shanti, sister.
Om Shanti.